Welcome everyone to this week's episode of Unrooted Track and Field Edition, and my guest for this week's show is none other than senior runner here on the track and field team at Menlo College, Rachel Valencia. Rachel, thanks so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. Let's start by getting to know you a little bit better. Now, one of the many struggles about getting through college is trying to find some money on the side to actually enjoy your life. I've heard that you also work full-time in addition to being a collegiate student athlete. How are you able to pull that off?
I think, first of all, I have a pretty awesome support group. I couldn't do it without them. And I have a pretty awesome job where I'm very cool with my supervisors that every semester since I've started in Menlo, they've always adjusted the schedule to fit everything that I need, which is school, sports, practice, and even competitions. If I need a day off, they're ready to give it to me.
Nice. If you don't mind me asking, where do you work?
CS Bio.
No idea what that is.
It's a biotech here in the Valley. We're actually very close by it, so it's pretty cool.
Sounds pretty high tech, I guess, or high biotech.
Yeah.
So what is it that you do for them?
I work in the finance department as a finance assistant. I take care of everything from AP to procurement and just a lot of fun stuff, a lot of paperwork.
Finance, being a student in college, and finding the time to run. Mm-hmm. That's incredible. I have no idea how people do it.
Yeah.
You gotta be able to manage your. Well, it's definitely possible. You're living proof of that. I'm assuming when you're talking about support group, you're also talking about your family. You're local. You're from Menlo Park, so I take it means you're very close to your family. What's your relationship with them been like?
Well, I live with them,
okay.
So that's very close. I think the older I've grown, the more I've understand that my parents are not only my disciplinaries and wisdom owls, but they're my friends, and I wouldn't want it any other way.
That's fantastic. So is that part of the reason why you chose Menlo College, because it's so local to where you grew up and where you currently live?
Most definitely. I think if I didn't take the chance to be at Menlo, things would be a little bit more challenging to complete. But because Menlo is so close, I'm able to do everything that I need to do.
Awesome. Yeah. Now, I've learned that you are a fan of milk tea. Mm-hmm. What exactly is milk tea, and why are you such a big fan of it?
Well, milk tea, I believe, if I'm correct, the Chinese got it from the British. It's milk and tea. It could be any types of tea: black tea, oolong, robios, green tea, and you just put sugar in it and some flavorings, and it's really good and it's cheap and it gets your sugar fix.
I feel like that's something that you get at Whole Foods.
Yeah, just.
am I right in that, or where do you get it at, or how do you create it? I don't know. I don't drink tea.
I think currently we're in a perfect area where we're saturated with milk tea spots. So you could go to any little shop and they're pretty much the same. They're not really different, but I haven't seen any in Whole Foods or anything in like a separate container. Is
this in any way, shape, or form related to boba?
Yes. But boba is the tapioca balls.
Okay, so that's what specifically makes it boba tea. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm glad I at least know that, but I know absolutely nothing else about it, so I'm glad you've enlightened me. Let's talk a little bit about running now. First off, I want to talk about what goes into a running shoe. I've heard that you have like a bunch of running shoes that you go through. I've heard like 3 pairs already this year. Like, what do you look for in a nice pair of new sneakers?
I look at first my feel when I put my foot in it, kind of I guess the Cinderella effect. If it's there and I like it, I will try it, I will buy it. I might stay with the shoe for 2 weeks and then just buy another one. I think it's very important to find what works for you.
That's insane. So it can work for you for 2 weeks and then not work. You're already running it out by 2 weeks?
No, it's just it's not going to work out. The relationship between me and the shoe is just not going to work out.
So do you have like any brands that you prefer, or is it literally just trial and error completely?
Most definitely at the time I am number 1, New Balance, 2, Adidas, 3, it's currently, I would say, Newton.
I've never heard of them.
Yeah, it's an underground Colorado-based company, but they have a pretty awesome shoe. Pretty good for cross-country runners because it's really good for trail running. And they come in really bright colors. So
I like that part.
That's exciting.
I'm not wearing anything bright today, but I'm a fan of the neon green, so that gets me going.
You'll definitely find one.
Okay, what's it called again?
Newton,
Colorado. I'm looking it up after this show. You've also previously run some half marathons, so maybe not so much the shoe's going to help you with the cross-country running there, but they'll help you with half marathons. How many of those have you run so far, and what makes you want to continue?
So far, I have done 2. Both of them have been in the Santa Cruz Half Marathon, which I highly recommend because it's a gorgeous run. And I've done just because I started running and I liked long distance and I wanted to see how it was at an event. And I just love it. It's my little escape.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't want it any other way.
What's the training like for such a long race? Like, I've heard from people who have run half marathons that you build up to like 6.5 miles, but you never go past that. Is that correct?
I don't know, because I trained for the half marathons by myself. And what I would do, since they're 13.1 miles, I would go up to 8 miles.
Okay.
That's the least I would go. And on a good day, I would keep going however much I want. But that pretty much did it for me. I mean, I lasted running for the whole 13.1. I never walked, so
there you go.
I did something right.
That is. So for both of them, right? You did that for both of them?
Right.
And so when you do it a third time, you're just going to keep shattering records,
definitely.
right? Right?
That's
Absolutely. Now, whether it's just training on the side or participating with the team, do you have any favorite spots to train?
Yes. Thanks to Coach April, she showed us Cogswell Ranch in Half Moon Bay, and it's a magical place. You get, I think, everything you could ever ask for in nature. You get beach, you get the mist, you get perfect weather, you get gorgeous views, you get bunnies running by you. I saw a hawk once, which is really cool, banana slugs. And there's this part where you start running down and it becomes like a magical hobbit town where there's like squashes and stuff. It's pretty cool.
This sounds enchanted to an extent.
Yes, perfect word.
Oh my gosh. So now I have to ask, because you bring up the bunnies, are you running faster than the bunnies?
I hope so. Maybe I'm running away from them at times.
I mean, unless it's like the tortoise and the hare.
That's true. Good point.
Yeah. So unless the hare is just super fast. What is the thrill of competing that you particularly enjoy?
I think at the end of it, I get to tell myself, oh my God, you did it. You know.
Yeah. And in particular with the half marathons, you know, the sense of accomplishment, like, hey, I just did something that, I mean, let's be honest, most people just can't do. I couldn't do that. I like to run distance, kind of, but I ain't going to run 13.1 miles.
Hey.
So certainly there's definitely a certain pride you get from competing in that sense. All right, Rachel, let's get into the final segment of the show. It's called Brownie Bites. I'm going to ask you 3 off-the-wall questions. You give me your best answers.
Okay.
Question number 1, which teammate hates milk tea the most?
I've never seen Logan Frazier post a picture with boba or anything of the like, so he might not like it.
Have many teammates done that in the first place?
What I've seen on social media.
Okay, well, Logan, I'm right there with you, buddy. I just know, I don't know. It doesn't, the combination of, I don't want to say textures because it's a liquid, but it almost is like the textures. It just, I don't know, it's strange to me. Question number 2, you're not up for this, you're not up to answer, you're not up as an answer for this question, so you can't pick yourself. Which teammate owns the most pairs of shoes?
Between cross country and track and field season, I've seen Garrick have several pairs of shoes.
Garrick?
Yes.
What do you see him in? Well, that's a silly question.
A lot of Nike neutral running shoes. I could tell you that.
I like Nikes. I have a pair of Nikes on right now. To me, those are the most comfortable. But I will say this. A couple years ago, I bought a pair of New Balance running shoes. Those were fantastic.
Excellent.
I had I don't know what was on the bottom of them, but like an extra layer of foam or something.
Yeah.
It was like you're running on clouds. It was fan-freaking-tastic.
As it should be.
I love those. And then question number 3, if you could be stranded on a desert island with one teammate, who would that teammate be and why?
I think Dorian because if I'm freaking out, I think she has her head on straight, that she could relax and figure it out.
Yeah, she is so cool, calm, and collected. Like nothing rattles her.
Most definitely.
It's incredible. And I guess I should remember this from last year's show, but she also has like 7 siblings, I think.
That's right.
If I remember correctly. So you have to be cool, calm, and collected to deal with so many siblings, especially growing up, because otherwise you're just going to go insane. So hats off to her. I think you made a good choice there. I think you guys would both live if stranded on that island.
Thank goodness.
All right, Rachel, thanks for joining me on the show. I appreciate it. Folks, the track and field team, they're competing this weekend in the Cal State East Bay Pioneer Legacy Meet. Joey Alvarez is the only one going on Friday. Everyone else will compete on Saturday, April 14th. It's going to be hosted at Chabot College this weekend in Hayward. And then the GSAC Championships coming up end of the month, just a couple of weeks away, hosted by Westmont College. Well, Rachel is the final interviewee on Unrooted Track and Field here in 2018. So thanks to Rachel, and thank you for everyone who's been on the show here during this year. And thanks to you at home for tuning in. We invite you to tune in next week for the final 3 episodes for baseball, softball, and golf. The last ones for 2018. And then it's summer vacation time. We all get to take a rest. Thanks so much for tuning in as always, and we'll see you again next week.